20-year-old star says he's got 4 years to break Randy Orton's record. Wants to become youngest world heavyweight champion. A 20-year-old star has sent a blunt message to Randy Orton on X/Twitter. WWE's newest ID prospect, Brad Baylor, wants to break the Viper's long-standing record. At SummerSlam 2004, Orton became the youngest world heavyweight champion in WWE history. It's been 20 years since Orton defeated Chris Benoit to become the youngest world heavyweight champion at 24, and his record remains intact. 20-year-old Brad Baylor is one of the newest WWE ID prospects. The young gun recently saw Randy Orton comment that his record might never be broken. Earlier this year, the Viper chatted with Bill Apter on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge. They discussed several topics and also discussed the Viper's record of being the youngest world heavyweight champion in WWE history. Here's what Orton had to say about the same. As far as someone becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion and taking that from me, I don't see that happening, only because I think it was a very special circumstance when I became the youngest world champion. I was 24 years old, and I don't know if there's anyone young enough to make it to that yet. So, I think I'm going to hold that for quite some time, if not from here on out, Orton said. Unfortunately, Orton's first reign with the world heavyweight title didn't last long. He was kicked out of Evolution a day after he won the title. He then began a feud with Triple H that ended at Unforgiven 2004, when the game defeated Orton to become the new world heavyweight champion. WWE ID prospect plans on breaking a 20-year Randy Orton record. A prospect from the WWE ID program is seeking to break Randy Orton's 20-year record by becoming the youngest WWE World Champion. Orton reached the impressive feat at 24 years old when he won the World Heavyweight title, just 1 year after his first pay-per-view event match. On Twitter, Brad Baylor shared that he has 4 years left to break the record, which Orton doesn't see anyone breaking. Baylor was announced as a WWE ID prospect last month. He often wrestled for Wrestling Open and has competed for PPW, Beyond Wrestling, and other promotions. Earlier this year, Orton named which young star he sees as a future WWE World Champion. Click here to see who's on the Viper's radar. Randy Orton is undoubtedly one of the greatest professional wrestlers in WWE history, working at the top level for over 2 decades, during which time he became one of the most decorated world champions the industry has ever seen. He has also had plenty of brilliant matches against the likes of The Undertaker, Christian, CM Punk, John Cena, and others. However, he has also had some duds too. Randy Orton took on an aging Dusty Rhodes in a Texas bull rope match, and whilst Orton did his best to sell Rhodes' offense and create something good, the match failed to deliver. Rhodes was simply too old to work any magic, and the whole thing was pretty short anyway, with Orton's beatdown lacking any sort of impact. Even though the match wasn't long, there was still a lengthy chin lock spot that sucked the life from the audience. The focus of this match was all surrounding the special guest referee, John Cena, whose WWE future was up in the air with his career set to end if Wade Barrett didn't win the WWE Championship. Of course, because Cena was the ultimate good guy, he turned his back on Barrett, doing the right thing and handing Orton the victory. Considering Cena returned within weeks, this was a complete dud and awful storytelling. The match itself was fine, but nothing special, being hampered by the booking. In the lead-up to WrestleMania 25, Randy Orton and Triple H had a vicious, personal blood feud, and it was one of the best-built matches on the entire show. WWE decided to add the stipulation that if Triple H got DQ'd, he'd lose the belt, and this single-handedly destroyed the level of intensity, animosity, and the storytelling of this match. The match was now built around Orton trying to provoke Triple H, which was boring, overdone, and it led to a very, very slow battle, which bored the fans to sleep. In terms of the fundamentals, they didn't do anything bad, but the structure of the match was a mess. Due to an injury suffered by Randy Orton, both he and Edge had to work on a new finish on the fly, which led to quite a messy ending, and it really sucked the life right out of this one. However, even prior to the injury, this match was not entertaining. It was slow, lifeless, and way off their respective best, which was surprising given their experience and quality. Whilst the match may have gotten better had the injury not occurred, the result that fans witnessed was not good at all. After a hot start, Everything began to fall completely flat in this title match between Randy Orton and John Cena. After just 7 minutes of pretty standard in-ring action that was steadily building, Cena got himself disqualified due to attacking Orton too much as he stood in the ropes. It was a diabolical finish and one that made this one of the worst PPV match endings of the entire year. This match was a robbery to paying fans. WWE tried to jump on the bandwagon with cinematic matches in 2017, which led to Randy Orton taking on Bray Wyatt in a House of Horrors match. They met at an abandoned, filthy, spooky house and had such a boring brawl, with the high point coming when a fridge was involved. Sure, the setting was unique, but the action was severely underwhelming. It was over the top, overly spooky, and laughable in their attempts to create something entertaining. They made their way back into the arena for some reason to end the match, only for Jinder Mahal to interfere and cost Orton. The pacing of this match was criminally slow, boring fans into a lull for a lot of the match. Like every other Punjabi prison match, the stipulation hampered the excitement, with poor spots, hard-to-watch action, and convoluted in-ring work. There were some minor highlights, such as one of the Singh brothers taking a crazy bump from the side of the structure and through the announce table. However, the overall execution was subpar, and the return of the Great Khali was bizarre. Randy Orton was involved in one of the worst Survivor Series main events of all time when he took on the Big Show in the 2013 main event. No one bought Big Show as a babyface challenger, especially since he'd spent months crying in the ring, so the fan interest in this bout was at a low. The match itself was painfully boring, slogging along with two men who had little chemistry. Show even tried to adopt Daniel Bryan's "yes" chants in a cringeworthy moment. When this was over, it was clear this only served to set up a title versus title match between WWE Champion Orton and World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt had many poor matches, though this might be the most ridiculous one of the bunch. Following a thrilling storyline in the lead-up to the event, this match ended up being laughably bad. The action was pretty basic and well executed, but suddenly the lights went down and the ring had images projected onto it. This included worms, maggots, and more. This would happen numerous times, distracting Orton and sending the referee running out of the ring. It was painful to watch. The execution of it was absolutely awful. And to make matters worse, Orton defeated Wyatt with ease anyway. The worst match of Randy Orton's WWE career is undeniably this one against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 37. With the ring drenched in ugly red lighting,